The Oklahoma Sooners may be a sexy pick for those media pundits around the country heading into the 2025 season to get into the CFP. But the USA Today ESPN coaches poll doesn't think so highly of our Sooners, keeping them out of their top 25 headed into the year, which starts in about 3 weeks. Let's talk about it. I guess it's just not going to work. Welcome into the show, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm live here from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Looks like the internet may not be great here, so let me know if you can hear me and see me and everything. And they're good. What's up, T Boomer, my guy? Let me know if you can hear and see everything pretty decent. Oh, I guess it was working. Let's see. Are we way behind or like? Let's see. Not too bad. Yeah, but it's not great video, huh? Not great video. Not great video. All right, maybe it'll catch up here in a second. Sooner in Texas, what's up, my guy? Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Rise and Shine College Football live from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll be here for just a few more hours. Actually, I'm going to be here for about an hour. So we're going to talk a little bit about this ESPN USA Today coaches poll, which comes on the heels of, even after, Bogodowski and I were talking a little bit about that on the show a couple of weeks ago, how all the love that's being spread around, there at media days about OU and Mateer and everything else, except that, once the poll came out from all the SEC media members, they picked them to finish 10th. Well, the USA Today coaches, not that it's necessarily ranked by coaches, because it kind of isn't, they don't even have them in the top 25. I don't know what we exactly think about all that. I think it's kind of funny. But it just goes to show that OU has a lot to prove heading into this season. And I think that's okay. It's something that keeps you focused if you're the Sooners, right? Yeah, let's take a look at the rankings after week 6. It's a good point, Dalton. Welcome into the show. Hey, Mom. What's up? Welcome into the show as well. Yeah, let's see. T-Boomer got to meet PG at the Yukon Target. Oh, PG, he's a superstar, bro. That's a superstar. I'm just a humble YouTube guy. What up there, stat guy? What's up, my dude? How you been? Let's see. Go, my gun sweetness. What's up, my dude? Good to see you. Yeah, I think I don't necessarily mind it. I think it kind of goes along with everything that we've been talking about a little bit lately. You hear a lot of people that talk out of both sides of their mouth. I think that's kind of what happened at SEC Media Days. A lot of people were loving on them. Then they pick them to finish 10th. You know what I mean? So it was a little weird. But to me, I say keep sleeping. And I think that OU as a whole, they're probably well past the idea of what the media is saying at this point. Now, that doesn't mean that they don't hear it and they don't see it, because people that tell you that they do, that they don't, they're crazy. But in the end, how much do these polls really matter? Penn State. Oh, yeah. Okay. First time OU's not ranked since 1999. You know, hmm, you know what happened that year? Penn State Sports Talk. Since you know so much, do you know what happened that year with them? How we feel about the? Oh, I think OU will be ranked middle by the middle of September. Yeah, if they beat Michigan, they'll be ranked pretty highly, I would think. But we'll see. Why does it suck to not be viewed as a top 25 team? It doesn't matter in the early season. The preseason rankings don't really mean a whole lot of anything. But please do tell me, Sooner Cowboys. I've got 1 hour to go. I'm going to go for an hour on this one, so we're going to go pretty quick. Yeah, I've got a little bit to talk about with that too. Well, you're bringing out some topics. Bringing out some topics there. Johnny Boy, what's up, dude? How are we feeling about propaganda coming out of fall camp? I think it all is kind of the same thing. It's something I saw yesterday, and I don't know how many people were paying attention to it or how many people were even on Twitter that come in here and talk a lot. I know not all of you are. Jim Nagy made kind of a funny statement about, and I guess maybe I missed something. Is there been a big deal that had when it came to the depth chart and who's on it and who's where or whatever? Because his comment yesterday about what was it? Basically saying, let's see, let me see what he said. I thought it was kind of funny. Basically saying that there was nothing more meaningless than a preseason uh, did or a fall camp um, depth chart. Nothing more crazy. Yeah, well, I got to check out. I got to check out, man. Yeah, it's perfect not being a top 25 team. Hmm. Yeah, this is what I was alluding to. You realize the last time they weren't in that top 25, the coaches poll, they won the national championship. So, just to say, just among the coaches, didn't have it. But you know, the thing is that it's really even coaches because I would tell you that most of these coaches don't pay a damn lick of attention to any games and any teams aside from their own. The teams that their teams are playing and themselves. That's all they look at. So at the very least, they got some manager or somebody in the program that scribbles together their poll for each week. Um, Certainly does not generally come from actual coaches because they don't watch football. They don't watch football. And here you go. Oh, I don't know about that stat. I think that this is a common expectation. And I think that you might be right. I mean, I guess it could be right. Um, as far as for some programs, I would tell you that it not necessarily for somebody like OU though. And I'm not saying this like looking down from a high horse view. I'm telling you as somebody who has paid attention to these polls and stuff for a long time, being in the media myself, and I would agree with your next statement here for sure. The first poll should come out until like week, yeah, 5, 6, somewhere like that. I don't think that it really starts. You don't really know anything about these programs until the end. Um, I stopped short of saying that it's what is it that everybody's trying to say. There was somebody going after Marler, basically saying that this was the way that the SEC and ESPN game the system is by having more teams in the top 25 at the start of the year because of their name and all that kind of stuff. Okay. I think that there's some validity to some of it. I don't know that, and as far as like recruiting rankings and stuff like that, I don't know that I care about all that. I know that they push that narrative, but that's more coming from your 247 on three rivals games, and probably some ESPN as well. I think a lot of that has to do with it. But I agree. I don't think that you can really rank the teams and you don't know shit about them until week 4, 5, 6, somewhere in that rank in that area. Now, again, I would tell you that the coaches aren't the ones actually doing it. It's not. It's not. That's a dream for this. In my opinion, we've been getting hyped up so much. Except that we really haven't been getting hyped up that much. I don't think OU's been hyped up as much. I think that there's certain people hyping OU. I think that there's fans that want to see OU getting hyped. I think that, the expectation. I mean, you just saw Sooner Cowboys in there saying it sucks that they're not in the top 25. I don't care. I think that you look at it and you, as an OU fan, and you knowing what they have, if you're paying as much attention as a lot of us are that are in here, you look at it and you say, yeah, well, we think they are better. Going back to what Stat said at first, though, you know, if SC and OU both go 9-3, South Carolina at number 13 would keep them higher than OU starting outside of it. It's not the only poll, number one. Number two, I don't even think that it's the poll that the AP poll definitely carries more weight than the coaches poll does. And the other part of it would be Oklahoma and South Carolina play each other this year. So if that 9-3, I think whoever wins that game would be the one that goes up. I think that games have to matter more than any polls or anything like that. That being said, if they didn't play, I would tell you that I don't agree with this either, because as on the whole and historically, Oklahoma is definitely going to be considered a better program by and only if it's not by nothing but blue blood bias. I think that they would probably still pick OU, but that's just me, and especially with this with the schedule that they have. But I could be wrong. Their schedule would tell me otherwise. But what's up there, Coach Top? My guy, how you feeling today, man? You feeling better? Feeling better? Been in a mood lately. What's up, Bishop? Harry, Leg. Today, preseason polls, just an opinion. Why so butthurt? OU doesn't merit a ranking. Yeah, I didn't say I was butthurt. Who's butthurt? If you were watching at the start, Harry, I actually said this is good. This means that you have to go out there and prove it on the field. If you didn't already have enough reason to go out there and prove some people wrong, this is a little bit more. Just like with everybody that was talking so good about Oklahoma during SEC Media Days, and then at the end of SEC Media Days, when the talking was over, the poll among the media members said they were picked to finish 10th. Don't know that I believe that one either. In the end, polls don't mean shit. They don't mean shit. It is what it is. Let's see. Michigan, it will change. Had to tune in. You're all ears. You still got a bone to pick? Okay. With who? With me? Oh, here we go. Oh, shit. What's up with you and Reese? Who's Reese? Who the hell's Reese? Reese lies on kids. Uh-oh. Who the hell's Reese? Okay. Yeah, listen. I think, hey, man, until the season starts, what else we got to talk about there, big guy? But let's talk about that. If we want to go ahead and have this conversation, what the hell does last year have to do with anything? Number one, right? What is it that last year has to do with anything? And if you want, I mean, yeah, okay, great. Georgia won the SEC. Good for them. They've got a brand new quarterback. Hasn't won a start yet. Hasn't won a start yet. He's basically played in 2 games. I know that they were big games, but We don't know anything about them. We don't know anything about them other than that they've recruited pretty well and they're picked it, way up there in the top of the league. Do we know for sure that Georgia's going to be right there? You can make the assumption because Kirby Smart has been probably not probably, he's the best coach in the country, at least at the moment, right? I would tell you that none of that means anything until you start playing football games. Coach Top. Phil Steele ranks Oklahoma at number 8. Good call, Eho DeSimp. The dude knows way more about these teams and their players than anyone else. He does actual research. He has actual. I think he's got an analytics model that he works with as well. But again, none of those matter either. None of those matter either. I think it's all about how you go out and perform. It's all about how you go out and perform. And so until you go out there and put it on the field and win the games, we can make assumptions based on what? You can look at what you have coming back, what you have, what you don't have coming back. I mean, I think that with Oklahoma, they've got top 10 returning production. Now, returning production is not exactly the same as it was a year ago, or a few years ago, where it was at that point you're looking at it was just who you had on the team before. They've changed that returning production to if they were productive in another program, that adds to it as well. So for transfers and such, which I think makes it more of a viable stat than it was when they were still kind of deciding whether they were going to do that or not. We know that it is part of it now. Even that, who's to say? Sometimes the production wasn't good. So who's to say? It is what it is. Won the SEC chip. Yes. Good for him. He didn't win that as a start. Do they win it if he plays the whole game? I don't know. Probably because Texas would have gagged it up either way. But you didn't beat Notre Dame. They didn't look great on offense. I think that I wouldn't judge them just based off of that though. That's the whole thing about it. I don't really care what Georgia did last year. I want to look and see what this Georgia team does. That's what I want to see. I want to see what this Georgia team does. Yeah, I'm in Tulsa there, Shawty. That's what I want to see. And I think that when I was in Athens, I did stop by and listened. I couldn't really see any of it, but I was listening to Kirby raising hell with them players out there on the field. I know he came off the bench. Dude, again, Harry, you're not listening. I don't give a fuck. I don't care what they did last year. I don't care what Oklahoma did last year. I don't care what any of these teams did last year. These are new football teams. It's a new football team in Athens. Do I think that they're probably better? Maybe. I think that there's some places that they better be better. Receiver. I'd like to see them run the ball a little better. I know Shawty will tell you they were pretty decimated on the offensive line. They weren't that good. The receivers weren't catching balls. I would hope they're better than that. But until we see them on the field, we don't know. We don't know. That's just like the idea. It's funny that we want to talk about what they looked like last year all the time. Texas gets, they're the number 1 ranked team in the country. They have almost the least amount of returning production coming back. And it's based on what? Just recruiting rankings? Come on, bro. It's just wild. I think OU may be taking the Ole Miss route and then try to go after more transfer portal guys after this season. I don't agree with that. Look, we know that that's not First and foremost, I don't want to get too far off the track here, but I'm going to tell you right now that it's still showing up everywhere that just being heavy in the portal and spending a bunch of money in the portal isn't the way to win. Because you can talk about Ohio State if you want to. They spent money last year. Most of the money they spent was on retention. So they built that program aside from a couple of players. And don't get me wrong, the players that they added were important pieces. And I don't think it is the right strategy. Now, do I think that you need to be fluent enough to be able to get guys that can help you immediately? Sure. But I think that the balance has to stay on high school. I think you have to have more of development coming in your program than ever before. And you supplement with that. Like I'll tell you, I think that Oklahoma, yes, they're depending largely on some of the, especially offensively. Obviously, they're big on portal this season because of the amount of losses they had through the portal after last season. But they got a lot of production that theoretically should be coming with that. We'll see. We'll see. Again, there's no guarantees that they're going to do anything different from last year. There's none. What we're seeing, as you just saw Ronnie Wheat saying, the buzz coming out of camp is that it's totally different than last year. Right. You're getting competition between what should be an elite defense and an offense that is improving all the time. They like these guys. Uh, Penn State, you asked if the hype about Elijah Thomas was real. Yeah, they love him. They love him. That kid's a straight up athlete. So we'll see. We'll see. Sharpshooter. What's up, Brinsky? Good to see you, man. Uh, I understand the love that Texas, Bama, Georgia, LSU, A&M, and Florida are getting given their rosters. Don't understand all the love for Tennessee, Ole Miss, and Auburn. Well, I'll tell you why Auburn's getting a lot of it. First off, their defense has been pretty good. If you're listening to what is being said out in Auburn, which I was just there the other day, they love the defense. So much so that, Hugh Freeze is having to call the dogs off so that he doesn't, you know, further break his quarterback. I'd love to talk about that a little bit. As far as why they like him otherwise, I mean, look, I can tell you as after seeing what I saw last year, I don't think I'm going to have to see Jackson play a lot better before I think he's better. I got to see it. Now, do I like their receiving core? Oh, dude. I think they're ridiculously good at receiver. I don't know that they're as good as they were a year ago at running back, but they're damn good at receiver. Now, unless Jackson's willing to throw the ball up to him, I don't know how that's going to work out. That being said, that's where that hype's coming from. Tennessee, I don't really get that one. Ole Miss apparently has what they think is their best receiving core of all time. They like Austin Simmons, and Lane Kiffin is getting credit for winning, having more 10-win seasons than anybody in the history of the program in a row. So, I mean, I can understand where they're at on that. As far as Tennessee, I don't really get it. I think that I don't hate their quarterback situation. I don't love it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he can't be good at Tennessee when he was good at Appalachian State before. I'm not going to be that dude. And then sit here and tell you I think that John Mateer is going to be good because it's kind of the same shit. Now, in the end, I don't think that where I think that they're going to be struggling a little bit is there's a lot to prove as far as all the other positions. Look, you lose Dylan Sampson. He was the number one running back in the SEC and, in my opinion, the country I think he was better than the kid at Boise State. I just think he was, and he went up against better defenses week after week after week to have to do it. I like Dylan Sampson a lot. He's gone. They lost what their top 3 or 4 wide receivers, not to mention Nico. Now everybody can say what you want to say about Nico. I still thought they were going to take a step back, even if he was still there. I don't know that I wouldn't think that Nico's better in year 2 as a starter than he would have been in year 1 playing for Josh Heupel. I think that there's a lot to prove there, right? And I think that if you look at their schedule, it's not that easy. They've got some tough games. And now they have a lighter schedule than a lot of programs do. Oklahoma, Florida, South Carolina, even Alabama. But they have to play OU. They have to play Bama. They have to play Georgia. So that's 3 games for sure that they're gonna have to go out there, and if we're expecting Alabama and Georgia to go back to being what they are, okay, those are 2 tough games. I believe that Oklahoma is considerably better than it was a year ago. That remains to be seen, I know, but I'm telling you, I think it is. I think the expectations are high around Norman because they should be. They should be. I think that they're good enough at OU. I think that John Mateer brings a different element. It's not even just about how much talent he has, arm talent or whatever. I think that he comes in as a pretty natural leader. You're hearing nothing but good things about it. His teammates love him. The defensive players love him, and he's giving them fits. I like where they're at. And I think that if you want to go to last year, you've got a lot of these guys back, and I think that a lot of the talking points that people are on are bullshit talking points. You if you really think that the offensive line was bad, I don't think you were paying that much attention. I think early in the season it wasn't finished. It wasn't a finished product. It wasn't as good as it could have been. There were injuries. They had a bunch of different combinations. I know that's all we ever talked about. Go look at the end of the season. It wasn't a problem with the offensive line. The problem was with a quarterback that was afraid to throw the ball and a coordinator that didn't have a very good game plan nor experience calling the plays. It is what it is. Not to mention all the, you know, significant injuries to all the receiving core, and you had a bunch of young guys. So it kind of is what it is. Kind of is what it is. Yeah, I know. I know. I know. I think it's definitely easier to run block. I think so too, but I think it's not necessarily. It depends on who we're talking about that you're playing against. But I think a running game would behoove them very well at Georgia, and I suspect that they should be pretty good there. I agree with you on that. Let's see. What is this? It's a what for mid programs? Who said they weren't good? I didn't say they weren't good. I said that your receivers weren't as good. They weren't. They didn't catch balls. What was great about them? I think what's good about Georgia is what's always good about Georgia, that they play really good defense. Good luck scoring on them. You know, that's where I'm at on it. Where's Coach Tom? Are we confident? Oh well, has improved. I am. I asked this one last week. So, are we confident the offensive line's improved? I got to tell you guys, out of everybody that I trust on the staff, as far as knowing what they're going to do and being good at what they do, I got to tell you, it's Big Bill. We were kind of low on bodies, and again, they weren't. He wasn't the. That line was not the problem at the end of the year, bro. He wasn't. It just wasn't. But as far as some of those guys, to be honest with you, Spencer Brown graded as high or higher than anybody at the end of the year, and that's when they were playing better. But he's not there anymore, so that doesn't matter. Fabisu Wewu, I think he got better week after week. Go look at the film and actually watch the offensive linemen. Sooner Cowboys. Ball's backpedaling this fall. I agree. I agree. I think that they're going to struggle. But you know what? No offense to South Carolina. Yeah, offense to South Carolina. They lost 9 of 11 starters on defense. Who the fuck? Why is it that they're going to be so good? I like their quarterback as much as anybody. Just so we understand this, I am a fan of Lenore Sellers. Love the guy. I think he's very, very good. Can he carry them by himself? Because aside from Dylan Stewart, we don't know much about that defense. And how are you going to carry a defense by yourself? He can be big. He can be big, but is he going to carry the whole way? I don't know. I don't know. That's my question about South Carolina. I'm not saying that they're definitely going to suck, but I don't understand all the love for them when they lost a bunch of players. A bunch of players. You lost 6. I just saw it the other day that they said they lost 9 guys that were a big part of the defense then. That came from the guys at SEC Media Days. That's still a lot either way. It's still a lot either way. And a lot of those starters, where were they? That D line is not what it was a year ago. And I think that that was the best thing about South Carolina. I do. It could be. They may still be pretty good. You wouldn't doubt them? Why? Okay, let me ask you this. If we want to talk about reality checks and stuff like that, when have they ever done anything 2 years in a row? We'll see, man. Starting D line were all 2 deep guys last season. Okay. Okay. Then do you think that they get to 9-3? Let me ask you that, stat guy. Do you think that they get back to 9-3 or better? If you had to bet on it right now, would you bet them to get to 10 wins or even 9 wins? Because I'm not sure that I would. In fact, I wouldn't. There ain't no way. I'd bet against it. I'd bet against it. What about it? No, let's talk about modern day. Come on. You want to go back and look at Oklahoma from 2011 to 2013 and talk about this? Because that's not what we're talking about. Come on. I would agree with this. I would agree with this. I don't believe. I mean, look, whatever, man. In the end, tell me the really good team that they beat. I'll wait. Harry, tell me the really good team that they beat. I'll wait. Answer the question. Why aren't you guys answering the question? You're backpedaling over the shit that I'm asking you. Answer the actual question. You see, you don't even answer the damn question, anyways. Come on, stat. I said, would you bet on them getting to 9 wins or 10 wins? Would you bet on that? Come on, tell me the truth. Who gives a shit about what he did? What does that matter? Moosehead? We're talking about the ball coach? Spurrier? Come on, man. Me too. Been saying that too. That's what I just said. That's what I just said. There's no guarantees about it. Been saying this too. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the year that they don't make the playoff. I think it's as I think it's as much of a toss up in this league as it's ever been. I think there's as many good teams as there's ever been in the SEC that could win it. I think some are more of a long shot than others, but I think that there's a bunch. This is kind of where I have them going back to. I don't think the floor be floor of 8-4. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. I don't really buy it. Is it guaranteed? You want to make that bet with me then? You want to make that bet with me then? Okay. Let's do it. Make that bet. How much you want to put on that? What bet are we taking? Well, you haven't even told me what a bet is, Kobe. I got 15 minutes left, folks. Let's get it in. Who is Stat Guy talking about? South Carolina. No SEC teams going on. I would agree with that. And even Vegas doesn't have anybody even getting to 10 wins, which I tend to doubt that's a fact. Ryman Lemon says he's got UGA at 10, Bama at 8, Texas at 8. I would probably, yeah. I see UGA getting 9 or maybe 10. But I've been thinking this could be the year they don't get there, so wouldn't be surprised. At worst, they're 8-4. LSU, Bama, A&M, and Clemson are the only 4 teams that can beat South Carolina. Oklahoma's going to beat them. Watch. Oklahoma's coming in to whip your ass. The North Sellers had 210 or 204 total yards at 1 touchdown. It wasn't about him last year. It was about that defense, which you don't have anymore. You don't have anymore. So what would you like to bet on that? What would you like to bet on that? Kobe, what is the bet you're talking about? Well, they've definitely got an easier schedule. Georgia loses to Florida and either Texas or Bama, then loses to OU in the SEC championship. Ooh, Sooner Cowboys. Man, you've gone from 3-9 earlier this offseason to SEC champions. Damn. All right. What? Nah, bro. It's not how I roll. Okay. Yeah. Come on, man. You know what, dude? I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you about last year's team because I've been saying this since I started this fucking stream. Last year doesn't mean much. It just doesn't. And especially when you don't have any of those dudes coming back. You have Lenore's coming back. You've got 2 receivers. One of them is completely unproven. Although he's supposed to be great, what's he done? We took the foot off there. You sound like freaking Tennessee fan there. That's what you sound like right now. Yeah, and it's a day game. Who's afraid of the Willie B at daytime? Come on, man. Oh, that I'm not gonna make. That'll never happen. You sponsor two CFB games for your viewers? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Okay. Based on rosters, yeah, okay, yeah, Texas, Bama, and Georgia. Well, that's the only three that there are, aside from maybe LSU. Except LSU's defensive roster isn't as good. Yes, I do. I think they will beat them this year. Texas hasn't beaten Oklahoma twice in a row in 25 years. Why is that going to change? Why is that going to change? Texas hasn't beaten Oklahoma when it had a good quarterback playing in a while. Home at night is scary. Home during the day, It's kind of the same as the Willie B. And who exactly? Why does it matter that he's wearing a Mateer jersey? Because we don't even know him, and he's not ever on. I mean, if he was on YouTube and had to do it for an entire show or something like that, it'd be an equal bet. It's not an equal bet like that, and I'm not making that bet with him. Who do they have on offense that keeps coordinators sweating? Jaden Ott, John Mateer, Giovanni Gibson, Deion Burks, Xavier Robinson, Taylor Tatum. Could be a lot of guys. They've got talent, dude. If you sit here and act like they don't have talent there, Coop, you're kind of silly, man. There is talent there. Four new offensive linemen. We're supposed to be completely afraid of that. Which one of those receivers has done a damn thing at Texas? Which one of them? Because the guy y'all keep talking about, Ryan Wingo, he had one 100-yard game. One. How many touchdowns? Like one or two? Come on, bro. Hmm. Yeah, I don't care anything about it. There, Kobe. I'll bet you the same amount of money versus that. My honest opinion on how the team looks going into the season, I like them. I like them. I think there's a lot to prove. I think there's a lot to prove, but I think that if you look at what's happening here, um, what's not true? Uh, yeah, true. I like this one. What you're saying? Yeah, maybe. Okay, it's not the same as at nighttime. You know it isn't. I know it isn't. But okay. But yes, that's another. What I'm telling you is okay. Yeah, they're coming back from LSU. Now Oklahoma's coming off of the Red River, so it is what it is there. But being at home, I don't know. I think it's tough, and they are the. I mean, do you look ahead to Alabama? I don't know. It seems like Beamer doesn't do well with good fortune. It doesn't seem like. I would say that. Oh, looky here. The most delusional guy in the entire chat's here. Cody Light. That earns you some time. Bye, Felicia. 10 minutes left, and that's a 10-minute timeout. We'll talk to you on the next one there, Cody Light. Hurt Helms fractured his hand. Did he? Oh, God. No. Good thing that's not the guy they were depending on. No, there's not. There's not. I think I think it's Oklahoma as far as teams that you consider contenders or whatever. Maybe some people do. I guess not everybody does, but I would say I think Oklahoma, Florida, hardest two, and South Carolina's probably right behind them. South Carolina's probably right behind them. What's not about the money? It's about the money, bro. I would agree with this, Rob. I think they're a lot better. What's not true? You're saying 08, 09. What are you talking about? What did I say that wasn't true? Stat. All right. Okay, that's good. That's good news. Ryman says, I can't trust what I've been hearing and seeing until at least game 4. I don't think even the Michigan game will be a good showcase of what they're capable of not doing. Um, I think you get a better a gauge on the what they look like early than you normally do. When in the Big 12 days you were playing 3 of those games, but now and it's still really the 3 to start with. But really, I would tell you that I think you get a better gauge off of it. I don't know why you wouldn't, because I think Michigan's defense is going to be considerably. It's going to be as tough a test as this offense can possibly have that early in the year. Their defensive line, legit. Yeah, people that are worried about the O line, get ready, because that should tell you where they are, at least at that moment. Now, it doesn't mean anything for the entirety of the year. I think early on it is what it is. I think by the time you get finished with game 4, playing in one of those being an SEC foe that people really like, I think you need to be 4-0. That doesn't mean you're going to win the Natty, though. Doesn't mean you're going to win the Natty. It just means that you're 4-0. You should be 5-0 going into Red River. Got a chance to be undefeated when you get to the Willie B. And that could change everything. That could change everything. But again, I think that this poll shows you that not everybody, and I mean, we're hearing it in here, not everybody even believes that Oklahoma is going to be any better, much less what you just said, 60% better, Rob, on offense. I think their defense, I think they have the best defensive line in the country. There's a number of SEC defensive guys, and, Cole Kublik is one of them, and then obviously Pollock. They're screaming about them being the best in the SEC for sure, and it's not even close according to them. We're not the only ones saying it. The defense is going to be legit. It's a legit Brent Venables defense now. They don't have to be a whole lot better on offense. They will be better than South Carolina on defense. That I promise you there, Stat, since you don't want to take the bet. They're coming to your house and beating you. I feel really strong in saying that. So it is what it is. Mm-hmm. Little Coop acting like he knows football. Yeah, okay. DMO had 450 and 7 touchdowns. that would wide receiver one for y'all last year, dude. Yeah, we know everybody was hurt last year. Little Coop, good job. Last year doesn't mean dick. Doesn't mean dick. Let them. Yeah, I actually love it that all this is being said still. I really do. It's cool with me. I think a lot of things have to happen. Everything has to come together. I said this last year, and I think it did all kind of come together because of that schedule. They have that schedule again, but it's not the same. I think that Florida is considerably better. I don't know that they're still. Although I think that they could be the team to go in and win. Talent wise, they could find a way to go in and win in Athens. The more I think about it, the less I believe it. And I could change my mind about stuff. I don't. The more I think about it, the less I believe in them to do it because they just don't beat teams that are equally matched to them talent wise. They just don't. That's what Sark doesn't get done. Big games, it is what it is. Would it surprise you if they lost the game to somebody like a Taylon Green with Arkansas? No. Would it surprise you if you saw Marcel Reed be better than he was a year ago and they win, even though it's on the road? No. Even though I have a hard time believing in Texas A&M as much as anybody does, I think that Mike Elko's a better coach than Sark is. I just do. So it is what it is. I don't think that I think they lose at Florida. I think they lose at Columbus in week one. I mean, that's not even a big stretch to say these things. It's not a stretch to say it. No, I'll give him that. I will give him that. It's a fair. It's fair. We didn't beat Bama. That was 2 years ago. What have you done since? When's the last time since then? In between that time, when you beat Bama, you've lost to Washington, twice to Georgia. You didn't even beat Oklahoma then that year. Oklahoma last year, okay, there you go. We said Oklahoma wasn't good last year. Offensively, they were very, very bad. As bad as they've ever been. See you, Ryman. I even said since the Bama game, who have you beaten that is equally matched to you? I've been saying that. Yeah. It's not just the road. It's not just the road. It's part of it though. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way that things set up. I think that Oklahoma beat you. Part of the reason I think Oklahoma beat you this year, it's not even just the history of it. I mean, which 25 years is pretty good indicator that you don't win two in a row very often. But let's just call it okay. The week before, Oklahoma has a de facto off week. They got Kent State that had one win last year and didn't fire their coach until well into the offseason. They're probably going to be pretty shitty. That game should be over. The starters shouldn't be in half of the first quarter. It should be out. They're getting ready for Texas. Who's Texas playing? In the swamp. That's tough. Oklahoma's home to Kent State. You're in the swamp. Advantage Oklahoma. You're going to leave the Red River game possibly 3-3. Elite defense for Michigan. Yeah, but that I don't know that we know exactly what either team is coming off of those games. I think it's an indicator as to where they are at the moment and where they might get to. But I think that they're still winning or losing that game doesn't kill your season. I think it would definitely help Oklahoma to win that game. And I think you should. It's at home, all that. I think just for the sake of the fans shutting the fuck up, it'd be good if you won it. But that doesn't mean that you can't lose that game, not lose but one more, and you're still in the playoff. And matter of fact, you could lose two more and still be in the SEC championship game because you're at 6-2 in the conference. So that could still get you into the SEC championship. And I think Oklahoma's schedule is hard enough that if they're 9-3, they might get in. Yeah. I feel you. I can't wait to see what happens whenever Mizzou isn't what they probably should be with this schedule, and you still got that mouthy ass coach over there telling you how great he is. Eesh. All right, we've been going an hour. I have to get out of here. I have to check out, so I just wanted to pop in. I'll be back in the next few days for sure. This is kind of just I had a chance to get in here this morning, so I decided I would. Love everybody. Thanks everybody for coming in. Expect to see me here. I'll be on with Nathan Bomber Brown tomorrow. We're gonna do an SEC preview for the College Football Mafia show. So we'll kind of see how it goes. We'll figure it out. You could be right there. But it just depends. I think a lot of it depends. Don't trust Lagway's health. I don't really know that I trust it either, but I think that again, I don't know that I believe in Arch Manning yet either. We haven't seen shit from him. We've seen more from Lagway than we've seen from him. So we'll see. All right, guys. Love everybody. Thanks for coming in. Make sure that you check out our sponsors. Make sure you get gear ready for week 1 at Fanatics.
Are you tired of your game day gear looking like it's stuck in the offseason? Well, step up your fandom with Hall of Fame College Football's official Fanatics partner store. Whether you're a diehard Oklahoma Sooners fan like myself, bleeding Crimson and Cream, or you rep another one of the SEC's heavy hitters, Fanatics has you covered. Shop thousands of officially licensed hats, jerseys, sideline polos, and exclusive championship merch from the entire Power 4 and Group of 6 too. All shipped directly to your doorstep and fast. Want to gear up like your favorite coaches and players? Are you looking for that perfect tailgate tee or a statement piece for your man cave? Fanatics is your one-stop shop for authentic college football gear from everybody that plays the game. So do yourself and your team a favor. Click our link in the description or simply log on to hofmedia.us/fanatics. That's hofmedia.us/fanatics. And you can shop everything that you want for the best prices of the day right on our Fanatics partner page. MyBookie 1000. That's hofmedia.us/MyBookie 1000. Yep, 100% deposit bonus, and it takes less than 5 minutes to get started. Whether you're betting college football, rolling the dice in the online casino, or dropping a 10-leg parlay on SEC Chaos, MyBookie has everything you need. Bet anytime, anywhere on the go at the tailgate, or yelling at the refs from your couch. Just don't talk trash. Put your money where your mouth is. Hit that link, hofmedia.us/mybookie1000, and get your deposit bonus today. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie and Hall of Fame College Football.